Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today we have an Xbox Series X and it has power issues. So every time the customer hits the power button, it turns off. And as you can see here, it's doing the exact same thing for me. Let's try one more time for good luck, and no luck. So obviously I've gone through, we've tested the power supply, we've looked at the capacitors, we've looked at the MOSFETs. Everything power related is actually testing fine. So the next step would be to inject voltage into the motherboard and check under a thermal camera for a short. And underneath the SSD, which sits right here, I saw a flash. So I removed the SSD, and there's not a lot going on. We have a couple resistors, a few capacitors here, and let's check together with the thermal camera and once again see what I saw here. And here we go, let's check it out. Boom, there it is, there's that flash. So something is heating up extremely quick and going and shutting off immediately, just like the system. Let's zoom in. Boom, that far right capacitor that's closest to that metal like frame that holds in that SSD. So let's take all this apart. Let's get that little capacitor replaced, and then we'll see what we can do from there. And hopefully this is all that the problem's gonna be. And the connector is plastic, so if you end up using like hot air to do something like this, just be really careful. You don't want to melt this connector. Luckily for me, I actually have a pair of hot tweezers with my Weller station, so I can just kind of grab it and pull it up and not really have to worry much about melting the connector or anything, which is really nice. There's the cap there. Kind of tin that up for a second, and then let's do this real quick one more time. I just wanted to get a little bit more solder in there. And there is our new capacitor. Get that put in there, and we're just going to use the tweezers to kind of guide it, and then we're going to use the hot tweezers to place it. And then I'll just kind of go over it with some flux, and then we'll look through the microscope together and see how it looks when it's done. Okay, there's the capacitor that's to the left. That's not the problem. I already replaced the good one. I'm just cleaning it up with some isopropyl. There's the one I just replaced. And man, it looks good. It is attached and very clean. Let me focus there. There it is. Okay, so that's looking great. I'm just using some hot air to kind of evaporate the isopropyl to get a better picture there. And now we can start to put all this back together. And very simple. I'm just going to kind of put the top board in, the power supply, and then we'll plug it in and we'll test it first without the SSD in there, just to see if we get this to stay on. Oh, look at that, the light's staying on. Okay, this is really good. It's not shutting off at all. Obviously, we don't want to leave it running like this for too long. So I'm going to get this completely put back together with the SSD in there, and kind of a partial put together like this, where it's the only thing not hooked up is the fan, really. All right, we got it turned on, the SSD's in there. Do we get picture? And we do. So the system is repaired. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helps somebody in the future if you had an issue very similar to this. Maybe it'll help you troubleshoot. If you like these videos, let me know in the comments, and I'll just keep making them.